Hi, hello, and welcome to the Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blessing. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate some findings. So we're gonna see what it is. It's on the grounds of the calling on our life. It's says here our reputation. So there might be something about our name, our skills, our talent, our abilities. The people around us have some kind of they've been ruminating, oscillating, marinating, vacillating in hate, venom, worry for some time. They're probably envious, jealous of our abilities, our talents, something of that nature, something of that form. Yeah, that's what it is. So we got some haters around us, and they're talking about us. Our name might be in their mouth. They might be keeping their name. They might be cursing under their breath. Our name is in their mouth. They're saying our name. They're in a relationship with us in their mind, at their altar, whatever, what have you. That's the truth. They need to have an ego death. Okay, accepting death. They need to have an ego death. There's a shift here. There's been a change, and that's the truth. To be honest, they've been, like I said, they have our name in their mouth. They have a relationship with us at their altar, in their mind, in their ego, in their imagination, whatever, what have you. Okay, and it's a calling in our life. We woke up like this, and this is how we move. So things look easy for us to them, but it's because we've immersed ourselves in the life, and they're an amateur, they're an outsider, they're sticking their toe in the water still, and we've jumped in both feet first. Okay, so of course things look different for us because we're not playing. And they're doing something else, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. Have fun. Okay, and so that's what's up. We have perception, and all they have is we have perspective, and all they have is perception. When you on the outside looking in, that's what happens. Okay, so they are looking at all the reasons why something's not going to work. They're looking at all the obstacles in their path, but the river is flowing. Yeah, okay, there might be a blockage. There might be an obfuscation somewhere. There might be an obstruction somewhere, but you've got to roll with the punches. Okay. Sometimes you go to a door and it will never open for you, or you will go through a door that you used to have get be able to walk in and out of all the time, and now it's closed and it's no longer open to you. That's just what's up. And yeah, it might not be pleasant, but you gotta be about what's up. You gotta be about the reality, the truth. Okay. And so that means you can reach out and grab life, because you're just gonna sit there watching forever on the sidelines if you don't participate. You've got to get in the game to win the game. And a lot of hoes sit there with their little abstract, theoretical, whatever, what have you. I'm an ivory tower hoe. I'll be the first one to say I'm a capitalist ivory tower hoe. I'll straight up tell you to your face. Okay, but I'm also a light worker. All right, and this third dimension becomes very difficult, very, very difficult. If you fight in, it's always harder to swim upstream. Okay, so be very intentional if you're gonna. Doesn't mean that that's the wrong choice, but it does get simple if you go through things simply. If you need to be a complicated hoe, it's gonna be difficult. That's what I'm saying. And if you're fighting it in your mind, that's weakness. Okay, that's just what's up. So let's see how this is gonna play out. How this narrative is gonna eventuate. Okay, so we've got to get with the program. We've got to tune inside and find some answers. We can't be so ignorant where we're la 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 la, can't hear you. We're gonna la 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 ourselves into some more bad karma when we could have avoided that. Okay, if you miss your exit on the freeway and you have to go 3 exits later and get off and turn around, you might find yourself in the hood, in the hoopty, in the ghetto. And that's just what's up. Don't be surprised. Don't act stupid and complain. You say, wow, this is most particularly unpleasant. I haven't made the best decisions as of late. Let me dial back in and get myself in order. Not all this other whatever. I don't know. I don't want to hear it. Okay. And that's just what's up. This is tuning in inside, tuning into the all that is. This is looking within for answers, also finding soul's wisdom, maybe some specialized knowledge, wisdom specifically, and this is soul's wisdom again, our authentic self, being the giver of unconditional love, because we have self worth and value. We've gotten to the bottom of who we are, self worth and value, Nine of Pentacles. So we had to turn things around as well. We're working on it more, so we're increasing. Yeah, because we're giving to ourselves. This is self care. Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, self care, and that's just how it needs to be. And we're also a very humble, and we're very humble, or we're very humble now. Things could have turned around with the Two of Pentacles. It could have not always been that way. We might have only been given to ourselves, and now we're sharing. We might be doing more charity. We might have had to grow through some type of crisis because there was a bad seed among others. Something that we were doing was too much. It got out of hand. So something became unmanageable with the temperanza e la torre. Il torre here, something got out of hand with the temperance and the tower. We can't put energy into it anymore. It's the two, Three of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. If we feed to it, it's like me. Like I know if I use drugs, I wake up around dead bodies. I'm just gonna say it like that. Um, I wake up and hoes be overdosed and bodies be dropped and purses be missing and panties be gone, and there's too many things that just make you feel like horrible for weeks on end afterwards. Um, and you don't know what happened. So I just don't do drugs. I don't use white powders and needles. Some people don't drink alcohol. They know when they drink tequila, they start dancing on tables. So when they drink vodka, they wake up, with a stranger in the bed. Roses are red, violets are blue. I got drunk last night. Who the heck are you? That we don't want to sing that the next morning, right? Okay, but there's two threes here, so something's working against us, or we can't mess with that. We can't f with that. We can't play in that. It's like if we give to it, if you feed it, it will eat you. It's like if you put the energy out there, it will show up. And that's just what's up. And there's peace in this Queen of Cups. It's tolerance too, so it needs to be accepted. Four of Wands, this is the game. This is literally what the arena looks like. These are the rules of the game. So if you don't act like a thug, you're gonna die like a thug. If you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword. If you're gonna be about that drug life, you're gonna die like that drug life. If you pass the pony out to everybody, you're gonna catch everything. That's just what's up. Be about that, And it's not like you don't know, because now you've been told. So you might not want that, then don't do that. You might not care, so then do what you want and just don't act surprised. You put your whites and your reds in the laundry machine. Guess what happens? Your clothes come out pink, and maybe you didn't know, but now you've been told. So don't act like you don't know. Don't act surprised. It's like that. So there's a way to let the freak flag fly, but you've got to also learn the rules of the game. Learn the rules, and so you can figure out how to handle whatever exceptions. Because when the energy gets moving, if it's up, then it's stuck. Okay, so that's the message here. We need to have a little grace and patience on ourselves, because we might learn from mistakes. There might be a little bit of, we might have to learn through course correction, course correction, course correction, course correction. So there may be that pendulum swing between boredom and panic, like a pilot. A pilot is 90% boredom, 10% panic. Why? Because you start on time and you end on time, and in the middle, you're lost, meaning you're constantly course correcting, which means you need to really rely on your tools. You need to have a good method. So you need to be highly educated with something specialized in terms of knowing what works for you, and being able to the whole time focus on the methodology, and knowing that you're going to start on time, you're going to end on time, but have to all the time in between, you're going to be off course. It's ever so slightly, and it is precision, meaning that if you are slightly off course the whole time, you're going to end up massively away from your destination. But if you start on time, end on time, and the middle is about course correcting, then you're going to be fine, because there's going to be great times, there's going to be horrible times, there's going to be not so great times. And that's why If you're a pilot, it's going to be 90% boredom and 10% panic. And that might be how we make it through this journey, that we need to make our mistakes, learn from our mistakes, meaning not keep repeating the mistakes. Okay, if we OD, if we hang out with the wrong crowd, if we start dating the wrong type of dude, and we learn our lesson, make a course correction. And also understand that we will have to make a course correction every now and again. So we might learn a little bit harshly. When you have the Three of Swords in the Tower, especially with all these court cards in the cups, all of the cups out on the table, we have the King, the Queen, and the Knight. So it's the Father, the Son, and this is the Father, the Mother, and the Son. It's the Trinity, really. It tells you we're really authentic, genuine, sincere. We might be learning the hard way. This is rude awakenings with the Three of Swords and the Tower like that. It's a rude awakening. So since we're still loving, caring, and kind, since we're still barreling forward with a heart in our hand, Knight of Cups, since we're so giving of ourselves, King of Cups, since we're so tolerant and unconditionally loving and caring and kind, Queen of Cups, tolerance. We might let a few things in that shouldn't get in. We don't have the Strength card, the Chariot card. I'm not worried about venereal disease. It's more of like we're going to get our heart broken too many times, and it's really okay. It's part of our nature. It's part of our lesson. So there's something about that. Don't feel betrayed. Don't feel vengeful. Don't feel the need to retaliate. Just be like, wow, I gave my love to the wrong person, but I'm going to continue to be loving, and this is going to teach me on how to tell who the right people are. I'm gonna go on with my precious little heart and continue giving that love and just be about it like that. Yeah. So now we're prepared because we have to learn a lot. The Page of Pentacles is a student, so we're learning about ourselves because I'm gatekeeping through the Wheel of Fortune with the 10. So we're learning about cycles here. I'm hearing that sound should have been different, but it wasn't different. Seeing different with the wrong one. So we had our heart set on a person and we had to let them go. Eight of Cups. We had to remove our attachment, detach. We didn't, Eight of Cups in reverse. We didn't want an enmeshment. We didn't want to ourselves, our individuality to melt away and for, excuse me if I'm bumping the mic with these headphones here. And for all that remained the same was this person right in front of us. We wanted to have a little bit of individuality. We wanted to have a little bit of personal boundaries. We wanted to see what it was for what it was. We were trying to rescue this person because we saw that this person didn't have the right framework. Darling, Dika. Dikane. I hear you. Excuse me, I apologize. I have a rambunctious cat. They're an exotic animal, so they're a bit much. We had the language, the knowledge base, the framework, the technology for whatever they were going through, experiencing. We were obsessed with this rescuing. Okay, so in the negative, it's assuming that the rescued one will reciprocate or wanting to keep on needy. One thing I will also add with this combination, scribe and because the scribe is like that has the language and the knowledge base for whatever. They could give language, they can give words, they might even be able to. Poet is usually give meaning to, but the scribe and the poet are very similar. Basically, they can give language, knowledge, understanding, meaning to whatever is going on. They can fill in the dots, but with the words, that's the scribe. With these two together, it's kind of like, I can totally see you messing up, man. I know what to do. I know the solution. Do you want me to give you the skinny? Do you want me to give you the cheat codes? But what's happening is there's some type of toxicity because this person is pushing us away or putting up a boundary, and we keep going. So the thing is, if we don't like somebody's boundary, it means we don't respect them. It might be difficult to watch a person make a mistake. But if we respect them, we will let them. Does it make sense? Even if it's our child, the thing about parents is that we will let our children do anything that they want except be themselves because we're going to try to prevent them from having specific pain. And we can say to them, hey, I just want to make sure you're making an informed decision. It might lead to this outcome. I've seen it before. I've experienced even myself. Maybe you think you know better than me. Great. That's fine as long as you're making an informed decision. You can make your own mistakes. Now that I've given you these facts and figures, how are you incorporating that into your decision? Can you please explain to me, being human that came from my loins, could you please explain to me how you're making an informed decision? And then be quiet, let them speak. This is why I'm doing it. This is the decision-making criteria I have. Here's my decision, my judgment criteria. Here's what's prompting me to make this decision. Here's my assumptions and what I think I'm going to get out of this venture I'm making. And if it sounds like hogwash horse pucky, that's fine. But also remember something Marconi, Robert, I think his name was Marconi, the inventor of the radio. That's 300,000 jobs in the radio industry. We have an award, the Marconi Awards, every year, people who work in radio. You know, his family had him institutionalized twice because he was like, Eureka, I found a way to send messages through the air without the aid of wires. Everybody thought he was psychotic. They had him locked up twice. Does that make sense? So sometimes you've got to just be out there. And I would not want to be the hoe who didn't support somebody and then that person's on and popping later on, and I'm one of the people who tried to block them on their way to greatness. Does that make sense? So that's just what I'm seeing here. I have to say it like that because this person is a child. There is some kind of something about them where we see them as needing support. And listen, children have an ability that adults don't have. They have belief in a way that's unjaded. So there's things they can accomplish or they can imagine that we might not ever be able to. Okay. They may be able to go about things or go down a path, go down a road that we might not have been able to. And it's about Messiah. So we want to save them in some kind of way. I just want to say, like, we are attached. We might have a healer's attachment here. We might not be leaving somebody to make their own decision. Yeah. So they need to know because they're priests. We're Samaritan. We want to be helpful, but they might not want they might not want our help. Okay. They might not want our help. So we're being prepared to let go or to let God or something of that nature. Okay, yeah. So we've already got, we don't have to talk about this. We're going back to the Wheel of Fortune. You know, we're not done. I was hoping this would be a short reading. It isn't as short as I thought. Whatever I said with those oracle cards, we don't even need the tarot now because we're being given another lesson. So I don't know. It might be the guidance card because, okay, let's see what we got. I don't know if we're done. I don't think we are. Yeah, because we're healing and we're getting power increases and we're each little opportunity to grow that we're being given, we're taking that opportunity. But sometimes God tries to give us a blessing and we say, not right now, not right now, no, right? No, I'm stupid. No, I'm stupid. I'm gonna stay stupid. I'm gonna stay stupid. And then sometimes we say yes, or sometimes we even say thank you. Okay, so we're saying thank you often enough that we keep getting upgrades. There's no, it's not it's up. It's not like usual, okay? So we did get the Empress. So we are kind of close to done. So I can stay with the Oracle cards, but it's no longer about this learning. We're no longer being prepared to receive. I think after we heard the channel, we got the message. So now we're being given a blessing here. We're sitting in our unconditional love because we know how to give unconditional love from the divine. We were kind of on the fence because we didn't know how to detach appropriately but still remain loving. Because up until recently, what we thought was enduring compassion, we discovered was actually only prolonged tolerance. And so we had to work that out, refine that process. And in doing so, excuse me a second. In doing so, we discovered how it really was self-love. We weren't right. We were loving on a person because of what we were going to receive. So our love wasn't unconditional. If you heal, if you change, if you let me heal you, if you let me fix you, if you let me upgrade you, then I will love you. No, you don't love somebody for what they give you. If you place conditions on the love you give a person, it's not unconditional love. And honestly, it's an attachment. You have a healer's attachment. You're healing them for you, not for them. Because they want the healing if you're healing them for them. And since they don't want what you're giving, what you're putting out, you really want validation and appreciation and affection and recognition. That's adoration. Okay, so once we got out of that, then things shifted because it was never going to go anywhere. This was never going to work. It was always going to be short-lived. It was never going to be satiating ever. We've got to give that love to ourselves because there's boundaries. What they're giving us is boundaries. That means that we're trying to love on them in a way that they don't want to be loved on. They have an opposing mind. We were trying to get them to change their mind is what I'm getting. Okay, and so we learned that lesson. And luckily, just in time, because we were running out of time, we were going to be behind the times. We were going to go into a lower vibration, a lower timeline if we didn't figure that out. So that was that negative Messiah. So let me read it to you. Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which the cause can succeed. Oh, so we thought this person was never going to make it without us. Or somebody thought that about us, that we were never going to make it without them. Okay, so this is about a missing piece of the lesson. It's that healer's wound. It's that when we have an attachment as a healer, when we're really fixated on the person's healing and being saved, and it's not that they're not going to wake up, it's that they might not wake up with us. That we might not be the one. We might just be planting the seed. We might not actually be having the breakthrough with him, and that's part of the work. Sometimes I learned this lesson a little bit over a year ago. August of last year is when I really had a big breakthrough. There was a ward. The goddess had assigned me to somebody. There was a bit of a sexual attraction, and that was initially how I came across this person, a male. And I quickly started to try to love on them. I thought it was reciprocal. There was game playing going on, but I was addicted to the healing. I kept showing up. And then I was rebuked by this person because they got afraid. And, it kept coming out in conflict. And I walked away from the conflict feeling like I could have done better. So I wanted to return within an hour trying to apologize for my part, being like, hey, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to put pressure, this or that, I discovered this and discovered this and discovered this. Let me share this part of about myself. Let me open up my heart a little bit, let me try again with even more love. And I kept getting rebuked. Essentially, I went back 3 times initially right away. Go back, next day, go back, next day, go back, rebuke. Then I dropped it because I go back 3 times. You don't want me, I don't want you. No problem. I'm released from whatever my assignment is if I'm rebuked 3 times, unless I go back to the Lord and I'm like, hey, goddess, it was the goddess sending me. Goddess, you sent me to this child 3 times. I thought it was a man. You sent me to this man 3 times. What's up? There was nothing. I didn't get anything other than the truth about what had been going on the whole time. And they were playing games with me, which I couldn't see because I was so unconditionally loving. So then what happened is their energy was 4 months go by. almost 4 months. It was 3 weeks short of 16 weeks, to be precise. 3 weeks short of 16 weeks. So about 12 weeks. So about 3 months, a little bit over 3 months, not quite four. It's Thanksgiving, the holidays. I was feeling them. I'm getting their feelings. I'm seeing their birthday. I'm hearing their name. I'm smelling them. Everything is reminding me. Everything is reminding me of this person. So I go to them. I'm rebuked again. But this is not the same as the previous rebukes. It was like, I want you, but right now I don't have the time. Of course, it's the holidays. We're dealing with family, whatever, what have you. I picked a bad time. And this happens to me because my intuition will be pushing me and I'm in my human, like, no. My intuition is telling me, but no. My intuition can tell me one thing, but if their mouth says another thing, I have to go off what they said, even though I know the truth. It's a thing that oracles and priestesses have to do. Unfortunately, we need to respect people's free will. They're lying, either to themselves or us. We know better. Of course, we know better. But even if we know in our heart, even if we know in our soul, we have to go off what they say. If God told us to go marry them and they say, I'm not looking, we have to go off what they say. And we have to go back to God and say they refuse us. If they refuse us three times, we're normally let out of the assignment unless the refusing is part of the assignment. So when I went back to the goddess and I said, let me out of this contract, I was let out. I still went back. A fourth time. That makes sense? Because I felt like I was being called back and I was trying to force them to heal. I very clearly saw what was going on. I always find closet cases. I always find people that are throwing their soul away. I always find people that are running around as people pleasers, especially in a male form. So a man trying to please everybody, especially women, that's the worst thing because what happens is they lose pieces of themselves. And the only thing that makes a man attractive sustainably as a man is that they're very secure in themselves. So a people pleasing man and a secure man are like cross the oxymoron. It doesn't it does syntax error, does not compute. Okay. So I get the story. And that was it. Like when these two cards come together, it's like you learn the lesson, but way after. Once I dropped the ball with that person intentionally and let them be, I kept coming across them. I'd be out around town. I'd run into them, you know, and oof, a year. This is December. About 14 months later, I learned the lesson. I just had to run in with this person. They're still up to the same ish. They're probably even worse. I feel like they're diabolical now. It feels evil and cruel when I come across their energy. When I would come across their energy, it just felt stupid. Like, boy, they're unawakened. If they could just now it's like they've doubled down, tripled down, and now there's a cruelty in the energy where they enjoy doing what they're doing. And they're causing destruction because I'm coming to the depths of my soul. I'm bringing up all this love. I'm coming out with all this vulnerability, and it's a black hole, right? This is one example of many. I'm giving you one. I'm telling a story. If you feed it, it will eat you. But this also, just so you know, in the good version, it's time magic. It's when we go back towards something that didn't work out and we understand why, or it can be that something just really awful happened and we're set on a dark trajectory that we shouldn't be on. Also, the goddess themselves can come and save us. That can happen, like false imprisonment, things of that nature. We have the Eight of Swords, not the Five of Swords here. We understand why something didn't work out. Somebody was a POS, a piece of shite, a piece of shiznit, sugar honey iced tea. They were just a crapola, man. Bad news. And it doesn't matter what in reality it is, the way that it reads spiritually on an objective standpoint, not a subjective standpoint, is that like they're going towards a darker timeline. They're going on a very less high vibration timeline. They're not in the highest vibrational timeline. They had to break off to a timeline that incorporated all that darkness and disillusion. It's not aligned. So they've broken off on a shadow line. They're on a shadow timeline. And we needed to stay. The world card, when you see the world card, is you go to the highest timeline. It's a course correction. If you just won, it would just be the sun card and that's it. The judgment card and the full card and the world card, they mean something extra. Because you win with the sun card is all you need to win. When you have those extra three, something extra is on top. It's a cherry on top, and which card tells you the essence of the kind of cherry. Okay, so we've come out of the dark. We've come off of this Messiah-ish, just trying to heal this person. A lesson got learned. A missing piece of the puzzle here is what this is about. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Take good care. Smash that like button if anything I said resonated deeply with. Until we meet again, until we read again, namaste, dandavat, and ashe. Take good care. See you in the next one. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve. Bye.